G'day folks, just a quick update on the Yanmar diesel. I finally got it inside the workshop. That's one heavy little unit. Got a massive flywheel and cast iron reduction drive housing on it, so made it substantially heavier than the little China one that I got. That was quite easy to move around, this one wasn't. But surprisingly the steel photocopier cabinet actually supports quite well. Well, it hasn't collapsed yet anyway. So I'm just working on the head at the moment. I've got the injector apart, but I haven't been able to get the body of the injector out. It's a cast iron injector housing. Looks like something that came off a U-boat, all pitted and rusted. Haven't been able to get that bit out yet. I'm afraid I can't really do it without damaging it permanently, and I really don't want to have to buy a new injector for this, because if that rocker cover's $140 second hand, I hate to think what they charge for an injector. So I'm going to carefully service it while it's in the head. And there's a little piston-y thing, needle valve. So thankfully I can do most of that whilst it's still inside the cylinder head. But yeah, just got to keep this thing spotlessly clean after I regrind the valves and give the head a good clean up. That's half the problem. The valves are corroded from moisture coming back through the exhaust. These engines dump wastewater from the cooling system through the exhaust, and it's splashed and just evaporated back up the exhaust tube and condensed inside the head when the exhaust valve was open. And as a result, the exhaust valve is pitted and rusted. So I might have to send it out and get it reground even. Not sure yet. I don't mind paying to get a head reground, but I'd rather not, so I'll try and do it myself. But for now I'm just cleaning up this injector. Oh, that thing is pitted. Evidently they don't paint them or anything, and little bits of salt water spray from cooling system leaks has just eaten away bits of iron. It's eaten away the cylinder block in some areas, particularly down here on the reduction drive, over the top of the injection pump. There's just water stain marks and corrosion around the base plates, just from rubber hoses leaking and other things like that. It's a bit of a shame, but I suppose the thing's 25 years old or so, 1970 something, and be older than 25, 35. I was born in 1985 and I'm 25 years old, 26 on October 25th, so yeah. It's really stiff fit in there, but that's alright. The main thing is the tip isn't rusted off, but it looks like it's still there. And pre-combustion head, of course. That's a pre-combustion chamber. Okay, well, I got the intake valve out. Everything else is clean. I cleaned up the injector as it was and just reassembled and sealed it up. But yeah, that valve looks like the surface of the moon. So many tiny little pits. Some of them quite deep. But miraculously the seat's not too bad. That'll lap in quite good. It's the exhaust one that I'm really concerned about. You can see they've bored the head out and pressed a seat into it. Hopefully the valve's grindable or salvageable. The seat's probably too hard to be bothered by any kind of moisture corrosion, moisture damage. So yeah, we'll see how that one goes. I'll relap this one and move on to that one next. Being a diesel, hot spotting shouldn't be too much of an issue. It fires when it fires. On a petrol engine, if there was a sharp edge or really fine points on the pitting, it could create a hot spot and cause pinging. I'm not sure if that's an issue with the diesel, but knowing what Yanmar are like, this thing will probably run forever as it is. They're pretty tough. I had a good friend of mine who's worked on plenty of Yanmar diesel engines and gen sets, and he said this thing will do another 20 years if I just give it a quick hone. Clean the bore up with the hone, new head gasket, clean up the injector and everything, and just put it back together as it is. I don't doubt him either. He's worked on generating sets upwards of 1000 kVA. Stuff you can sit inside the stator cross-legged and not have your head hit the top of the stator pack. like massive stators, like 6 foot high or so inside. God knows how many feet high they would be on the outside with the housing on them, but yeah, serious rewinds and rebuilds. He also looked at my gurney pressure pump and said, no, it's not the 3000 psi model. It'd be lucky if it makes 1200 psi. So I'll be quite happy with the 1000 psi that I've got coming out of it at the moment. It is a little bit worn, the valves are a bit worn, but it's nothing to worry about. But he did also mention what a few people have now, and that the oil pumps on these do become a problem. So I've got to pull this side cover off and rebuild the oil pump for sure. I'm also going to check out this oil strainer system and whatever's inside it. That'll be the next part of the video. Right now I'm just recoing the head and get it back on. Well, I can't get it back on until I get a head gasket, but I'll get the piston and everything back in after honing it. So yeah, a little bit at a time. It's just a rainy day project, which is what it's doing right now. It's raining, unfortunately, after so much nice weather the last 3 or 4 days. Well, the seat on that thing might be stainless steel or something, but the rest of that valve is trashed. It's terrible. I don't think I can even get that reground. I'm going to try, but yeah, I think I'll have to hunt around in my collection of old valves and find one with the same shank diameter and head diameter, and just machine the stem to suit the collet style, which are pretty straightforward. It's just a square groove. So I've done that before. I did that with the Howard engine. I took a valve from a Holden 253 engine, or 308 or something like that, a GM Holden V8 engine valve, and trimmed the stem off and machined a new collet groove in it and fitted it up as the exhaust valve. Came up perfect. But yeah, it looks like this seat's been replaced at one stage. This one here is plain iron in the head, but this one's been pressed in and it's perfectly smooth and hard. So it's probably stainless steel or something like that. But unfortunately the valve wasn't replaced. It's even got original markings on it. So that's why I didn't have much compression when I was turning it over after I got it. It's just leaking straight out the exhaust. Oh, that'll do this one for now. I'm not going to try and regrind it tonight, but yeah, I'll have a hunt around. Thanks for watching. Now let's try a very crude valve grind. I don't recommend trying this at home. God, you can see how rough that valve is. I have to tighten some of these up a bit. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend trying this at home, but then again, not everybody has one of these at home. It's actually made for engraving cutters, half round and 3/4 round engraving cutters. So I can't actually rotate this any further to get the angle on the flat of the cup wheel. Makes things a little bit tricky if you're trying to grind valves and things like that. But I'm going to have to modify this compound here and make it so that I can go over its recommended angle and actually grind valves against the face of the wheel, because I can get a dresser replacement, a diamond dresser to square up the face of the cup wheel, And once that's 100% square, I can set the angle on the compound and grind my valves. 60 degree, 90 degree, whatever the hell the angle is, I can set it to do that. But at the moment it's made to grind the angle on the point of the shaft, like that, not like that. So I'm using the inside of the wheel, which puts a slight radius on it. And that's where a lot of lapping compound and a power drill comes in handy for reinstalling it in the engine. But it might actually work. So I couldn't find a valve that had the correct shank. This is a metric 8mm shank, and all of my other valves are imperial, which is kind of difficult. Oh well, it's a bit of fun for tonight. I'll finish grinding this valve and give it a quick lap in, or at least start lapping it. I don't have an awful lot of time left tonight, but either way, we'll see what happens.